We spend a lot of time developing our professions, but we don't spend time developing ourselves. Look, as a leader, as a professional, you have to grow. You have to grow yourself. And to be able to grow yourself, you need to know yourself. A lot of us are not achieving the maximum we can achieve because we have not invested in our personal growth. So we are bringing you this special studies based on John C. Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And we're going to just spend time with you and help you go through the principles that you need to be able to grow your person, to become a better person. Because if you become a better person, you become a better leader, you become a better father, you become a better professional. Do not miss this opportunity, as the masterclass is going to be very practical and discussional. It is going to be a limited number of people. So please register now to be part of the program.
My name is Eliza.
My name is Elsie.
My name is Ebenezer Tufo.
This is Rosemary Robert Gacy.
Over the past 14 weeks, I have been part of CTL Africa's 15-week growth journey, and it has been a blessing for me. I want to share my lessons with you.
Indeed, my attitude to life has never been the same. From the very first day I joined the virtual Personal Growth and Leadership Masterclass organized by Center for Transformational Leadership CTL Africa under the tutelage of Mr. Samuel Eyim.
First, the law of intentionality. Second, the law of design. And third, the law of the rubber band, the law of expansion.
The law of intentionality, the law of awareness, then we have the law of the mirror.
Looking at how intense these laws are and how much impact they're supposed to make to our life.
My value obviously is not the same. The program indeed satisfies my quest for knowledge. So I encourage you to be part of this journey and also become an encouragement to others.
I will recommend CTL Africa to everyone who hears about us.
It has been a blessing to me, and I will encourage you to be part of CTL Africa's 15-week growth journey.
So we thank Mr. Eyim, and we thank CTL, and thank you for listening to us.
God bless you as you make a move today.
I have been blessed, and so you be blessed. Thank you.
Nobody ever wrote goals on a planner to success. They acted. Action is what attracts. It's the action. It's the movement. Every person has a change the world speech inside of them. It's inside of you. Every one of you have a message. Every one of you have a dream. And my hope is that today you'll begin to express that dream better than you ever have, because people need to hear your story. People need to see your vision. And when you learn to communicate, you pass it on to others, and you help so many people make a difference in the world. So let your dream come out and learn how to communicate it with excellence. Thank you very much. My name is John. I'm your friend. Thank you. Nobody ever thought their way to success. Nobody ever hoped their way to success. Nobody ever wrote goals on a planner to success. They acted. Action is what attracts. It's the action. It's the movement. Every person has a change the world speech inside of them. It's inside of you. Every one of you have a message. Every one of you have a dream. And my hope is that today you'll begin to express that dream better than you ever have, because people need to hear your story. People need to see your vision. And when you learn to communicate, you pass it on to others, and you help so many people make a difference in the world. So let your dream come out and learn how to communicate it with excellence. Thank you very much. My name is John. I'm your friend. Thank you.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Samuel Ayim, and I'm excited to be here this evening with all you beautiful people to learn about leadership, to learn how to grow. This evening, we're doing something very special, and so we're happy for you to join us. As most of you may know, we hold our annual leadership conference every October. The first Friday of every October, we host the annual John C. Maxwell Leadership Conference called LIVE2LEAD. We've been hosting this for the past 7 years. And this year, on October 6, 2024, the annual LIVE2LEAD conference will come to us. Now, as we prepare for the conference and to encourage all of you to buy your tickets, we have decided to bring you back some corporate executives who participated in last year's annual conference to share their experience with you. This is what they shared, and we are going to share it with you so that you can have a taste of what to expect on 6 October, so that you can reach out to all your friends and so on to be part of it. This year, John C. Maxwell will be speaking. From Ghana, we have Professor Frimpong Boateng, who is going to share his story, because this year the theme is Leading for Legacy. And so he's going to share his story on how the amazing work that he did in the medical profession. John Maxwell will talk about how to change your world and make a significant impact. We also have Ohinayiri Gifty Auntie, who would also join to share her story in the media and society, the impact she's making. And we have an upcoming great entrepreneur and a business leader, Andrew Stechi, who is the founder and CEO of ZPay, who set up a financial technology company currently in over 29 countries across the world. And so he's going to share the story on how to create a lasting business as a legacy. So this is what we are preparing, but we're going to bring you what some corporate leaders have said about the previous Live to Lead so that you prepare. There are great lessons in there also, even as you listen to them. There are three professionals who are coming to speak to us. The first one is an accountant, Justice Ahulu. He is the head of finance at the Accra Regional Hospital. He's a chartered accountant of several years. Then we have Eunabna Asafubuachi. He's a lawyer of over 30 years standing. She's the head of legal at EcoBank Ghana, and she's done so many other things, including being head of HR within EcoBank. And she's also going to share her lessons. She was at Live to Lead last year with her team. Then we have an architect who also joined the team. Lakwe is going to share with us also her lessons. So these are professionals who have participated, and this is to encourage all other professionals and corporate executives to participate. So at this point, we're just going to bring them on board to share with us what they experienced last year. So just sit back and invite your friends. I see already William Dafoe is here and Dennis Ahe is here. If you are on the call, just show up and we'll announce you to the world, and also invite your friends, your colleagues to join. So at this point, Rabna Safubuachi Abi, I call her. She's my mate at the law school, so I call her Abi. Justice has gone through the growth journey also, and Lakwe has gone through the growth journey, and they all joined Live to Lead. So let's sit back and listen to their experiences. Now, what we are going to do this evening, we're going to have a very interesting discussion. We're going to just share their brief. And now so many people have joined. And so before they start, what we're going to do, and Justice, they say ladies first. So this is not about food. You see, when there is food in Ghana, it's men first. They serve the men first. But this evening, we are going to start with the ladies. But I have Albert Donko online. I have Stephen Amuako online. I have Fred Asare online. I have Fayatu Abdul Mumin online. I have Richard Kings also online. Giselle joining all the way from Switzerland. Gisela, you are welcome. We have Dennis online from Sakumono. We have Jeremiah also online, and many more. So please share and let's learn from these amazing leaders. So Abby, you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Lakwe, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
You are very, very welcome. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the ladies, and we don't want any trouble, so we'll start with the lawyer. We don't want to be prosecuted. And each one of them is going to give us like 5 to 10 minutes of their key learnings from Live to Lead, apply it to themselves, their life. What is it that they are learning that they are going to, they've learned from Live to Lead that they are going to apply? And then after that, we will interact with them all together on the platform and ask follow-up questions. But we want you to just listen to them and listen to their learnings, and then we will come back. Please put down your questions, especially if you are not at Live to Lead, so that we can learn. So we will start with Abina. We'll start with Abina. So Abby, you are welcome. Before you start, let me ask you, which of the speakers was your favorite? Which of the speakers? Oh, Abina is disappearing. Which of the speakers was your favorite speaker at Live to Lead?
Sam, that's a tough one because they were all great. But I really enjoyed the session led by Patrick Ewa on integrity. What he said really resonated with me. Of course, John Maxwell was, of course, in a class of his own, excellent. And I found the ideas shared by, I think it's Patrick Lencioni on the 6 working geniuses. That was fascinating. So those would be my top 3. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Okay, so we'll give the floor to you now, and then you will share with us your key learnings, and we will learn from you also with your experience in the professional world, with all that you've done. Why did you participate in LIVE2LEAD, and did you get why you came to LIVE2LEAD? So go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed. Before I begin, let me just say a very big thank you to you, Sam, and the entire CTL team for this opportunity to share some thoughts on this platform. Indeed, in preparing for the session, it's been such a blessing. I've gone through the presentations. It's been an enriching process, and I want to thank you for the opportunity. For the audience out there, thank you for joining us. Just to say that Sam, at some point in his career, was actually my leader at EcoBank when he was the general counsel for the entire EcoBank group, comprising over 33 countries. And Sam has my utmost respect for his leadership style and indeed the competence he exhibited during that period. So Sam, thank you very much, CTL team. Thank you very much for this opportunity. If I may have the slides up. As I said, LIVE2LEAD was an amazing learning experience for me. And there were so many takeaways that I took from the program, but I'll share just about 5 of my thoughts with you through this presentation. Can we roll? So the topics, 5 topics that I'll touch very quickly on. Food for thought. There were very thought-provoking statements that were made in the course of the program that actually set me thinking, and I'll share a few of those with you. And then there were 3 pillars of potential that would enable us continue on our path of realizing our potential. There was a session on some discussion around maximizing mentoring, which I'll touch on, paying the price, and also relaxation and reflection. Now, the picture you see in the slide is of gold nuggets, because I consider that I obtained nuggets of wisdom, precious nuggets of wisdom from the LIVE2LEAD program, which I'm going to share with you. Can we move to the next slide? Next slide, please. Okay, so in terms of our potential, realizing our bid to realize our potential in life, a question was thrown up as to how far we are prepared to go. If we set a finite timeline for ourselves, and of course, when we get there, then that's it. But the thought that was shared was that no, we shouldn't have a finite finish line. We should keep growing, we should keep developing, we should keep learning. And indeed, our greatest days are ahead of us. If we have that kind of mindset, we will not set limits for ourselves and truncate, the realization of the potential that God has given to us. You can't say that, oh, now I'm general counsel at EcoBank, I've, achieved my dreams, that's it. No, there's a lot more that lies ahead, provided we have the mindset that can take us forward. So these statements were made, I think, by John Maxwell, which really set me thinking as to, what lies ahead and how to get there. Can you please move to the next slide? Yes. So what John Maxwell shared were 3 pillars that would enable us basically achieve or realize our potential in life. One was to grow in awareness, grow in self-awareness. We've got to know who we are, what we are good at, what we are not good at, okay? And once we come to that realization, we should develop our strengths, focus on what we are good at. And that was a bit of a surprise to me, because I had always thought that, you know, once you assess yourself and you ascertain your weaknesses, you focus on working on your weaknesses so that, you know, you'll be an all-rounder. But no, the learning that I got was that, no, focus on your strengths and make the right choices, in the sense that you can equip and empower your team members, you know, who have the strengths that you don't have, okay? And delegate to them so that they can, you know, complement, you know, your areas of strength, okay? So these are the 3 pillars of potential, and they are to work concurrently. We are to continually grow in self-awareness, develop our strengths, make the right choices, and basically, of growing in awareness. One of the speakers, I think Patrick Lencioni or so, he shared 6 genius. I think six geniuses, basically 6 areas of genius, okay, that ideally one should have in one's team. Okay, so you should have somebody who wonders, somebody who sort of questions the status quo, you know, somebody who thinks out of the box, okay? You should have somebody who is an inventor, okay, somebody who's interested in new things, right? You should have somebody with discernment who can say, look, are you sure, you know, we're on the right path? Somebody who exercises sound judgment, you know, somebody with who goes or who is able to sort of glean from his or her gut feeling and, you know, guide the team accordingly. You also need a galvanizer, somebody who rallies everyone, you know, round into action. You need an enabler, right? And then you need somebody who with tenacity, somebody who will ensure that all the great ideas will actually get done. Okay, so there's actually some kind of self-assessment that one can do to ascertain one's working genius. Okay, and for me, that would be a great starting point. I've asked that you know, we be allowed to take that assessment so that we can all ascertain, you know, what our working genius is. And with that self-awareness, move on to develop our strengths and make the right choices, and so on and so forth. Once we do that, we will be on, you know, on the path towards realizing the fullness of our potential in life. Next slide, please. My time is going. Yes. Another point that was made for purposes of realizing one's the fullness of one's potential was maximizing mentoring. Okay, so where you are able to identify a mentor, you know, instead of just, you know, basically meeting up with a person, you know, sharing all or unburdening yourself to the person, taking a selfie with the person. No, we are to prepare for any interaction, any opportunity to interact with our mentors, right? Prepare, set down questions, you know, that we would like answered, okay? So make those times quality time, extract value from such mentoring moments, okay? And after we glean all we can from our mentors, we are actually to act upon all that we learn from them. So indeed, yes, the 3 pillars of potential are there, but this is also another area that will help us in our journey to realize the fullness of our potential. This was another powerful thought that I took away from the program. Next slide, please. Yes, and then this was a tough one. So basically, in our bid to realize the fullness of our potential, you know, you get to a point where you are comfortable. Oh, you know, now I have this position, I'm performing well, life is good. But if you want to move beyond that, and there's so much more out there, we've got to pay the price. We've got to pay the price, because indeed, everything you're looking for is actually outside of your comfort zone. But getting out of your comfort zone to, launch into the unknown is not an easy. It's not an easy decision. But indeed, what John Maxwell said was that the higher up you go, the able to pay the price. You can get there and really enjoy that satisfaction, knowing that, yes, I have realized the fullness of my potential, and indeed keep going. So this was another learning that I took from his session. It set me thinking, because some hard decisions have to be taken if you want to, move forward and pay that price. Next slide, please. Another thought that or another learning that I gleaned, I think this was from Doris Goodwin or so. She basically spoke about former presidents of the US who are dead and gone, but I think she's made a career of studying about them. She knows, she has the history of all of them and basically, their habits and what made them great. And she mentioned, for example, that apparently Abraham Lincoln attended the theater 100 times during the Civil War. Now that for me was a bit mind-boggling. It is as though if there's a crisis situation, you are seen, entertaining yourself. But the learning again was that, look, you can't work. At some point in time, you've got to take a break. You've got to relax. You've got to refresh. You've got to reflect, take time off. And when you come back, you'll come back reinvigorated and basically strengthened, to continue the journey. So these are basically the learnings that I gleaned from the sessions at LIVE2LEAD. In fact, there were so many, but I had to just pick a few because as Sam said, he'll give me just 10 minutes. I could go on for 10 hours, but I'll stop here. And thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, Abby. Those are really great learnings. As I said, I was in the same LIVE2LEAD, but I never picked the same lessons the way Abby has picked and actually packaged them in this way. I like how far can you go? Don't just set final goals, but ask yourself, how far am I going? That means keep growing. And I like the pillars of growth also. Grow, develop, and make the right choices. Amazing. And pay the price and take a break. Yes, it was also interesting to me that, we are fighting and somebody is just going to the theater and enjoy himself. But as leaders, you need to have time, you need to have a break and just relax. Thank you so much. We'll come back to you. We'll come back in the discussion and ask a few questions later on. But at this point, I'm going to bring the next lady, Lakwe. And Lakwe, you are very welcome to the leadership platform. We are ready. This is the perspective from the lawyer, how she's processed it. How did the architect see LIVE2LEAD?
Okay. Hello, everyone. And I'm sorry I went off for a while. My experience with CTL Africa and the growth journey has been amazing. It sets me on a path of intentional growth, and it's been really great seeing how things have changed for me, how things are happening for me currently. So I really appreciate everything that's been done by CTL Africa and Mrs. Samuel Ayim. Thank you so much. And I almost missed the LIVE2LEAD, but thankfully I didn't. And it was amazing. It was really amazing. I'm really glad that there was a chance to watch the replays. So where I missed, I was able to catch up on. Okay, so there are a few learners that I had. In fact, all the panel members, both local and international, were amazing. The local panel was really awesome. I was very impressed by the thoughts that were shared from Patrick to the rest of the panel. Now, what I picked up from what was shared by the local panel was, first of all, the level of servant leadership in Ashesi University. It was touching, it's intriguing. The fact that students are given the chance to partake in decision making, I thought was really good. And they don't just partake in it, they own it because they're part of it. The students are allowed to weigh in on decisions, and it actually fosters respect, and it also empowers. They are empowered and they are inspired to do the right thing, even when nobody's watching. For a while, I actually had the chance to be on the design team for Ashesi University, and I visited the school, and I was really impressed by how the students behaved, from just being nice to people just smiling at you to staying in line to get food. It felt like a very different environment, and I was really impressed by that. And at the time, I didn't know there was an honor code in place, but after listening to what Patrick shared, it made sense. It made sense that they were allowed to be a part of it, to decide for themselves if they wanted to take the path of integrity. And they did, and they are owning it, and they are doing it while nobody's watching. And I thought that was really, really good. And the one thing Patrick shared that I really liked was, and they came up and they stepped up and acted heroically during really difficult times when they were having trouble with the accreditation board. They still stood for integrity, and they still stood for the it's being translated to other schools now, other institutions now. Okay, so and the other thing is that I picked up was doing the right thing when no one is watching. I think I've mentioned a bit about that. And even though in Ghana here, society seems to honor mediocrity, the same society rewards integrity. The same society. Now, if you're looking for sponsorship, would the sponsorship be given to somebody who's known not to have integrity? No. Promotion at your workplace, if you are not a trustworthy person, are you going to get some sort of promotion or some recognition? Are you going to be trusted into certain positions? Not really. So even though more or less there's hope for keeping up with integrity. And also I learned that I should ensure that I'm practicing what I preach. Personally, I try to do that, but sometimes we may actually not know that we're not practicing what we preach. And self-introspection is very important. Every now and then, just sitting back, reviewing what you've been doing or what you say, and basically examining yourself to see if you're actually doing what you are asking other people to do, or what you're expecting from other people. And that's one thing that I'm going to be very, very conscious about. And at the end of the day, there is hope. I think hope was a big thing that was discussed amongst the local panel. I really like this quote that Gwyneth shared. She said, youth is a blessed time, but the blessedness of youth is realized after it has passed. But Uncle Ibo White also mentioned that Ghana is quite a young country, so we are youthful and there is hope. I've decided for myself that I'm not going to join the bandwagon with my hands in the air, wailing about hopelessness. But instead, I've got to be the change that I hope to see in society. Okay, and the live session was also really amazing. I picked up quite a number of things, but because of time, of course, I'll just share a few of them. One big thing that I picked up was being able to communicate effectively from John Maxwell's sharing on communicating his loss of communicating others. You cannot connect. You are in the story, or if you are in it all the time, it's necessary that we remove ourselves every now and then and give other people the chance to put themselves in the story that you're trying to tell them. And also, if you want to be, he mentioned that two there are two messages whenever you're trying to communicate with somebody. First of all, the best message, which is what you're trying to put across to them. And with the best message, you have to be prepared. It's always necessary to come. It requires energy. You have to put in the effort to be able to communicate the right thing that you that you want them to, or in the way that they can best understand it. And he mentioned that you cannot deliver what you haven't developed, of course. And also with the second message that you put across while you are giving your best message, while you are communicating with somebody, is the big message, which most of us usually may be oblivious of. And the big message is basically what you're communicating behind, or what you're communicating about yourself in that we should 4 steps for or 4 pointers for communicating our big message. We have to be aware of ourselves first of all, and be aware of what we are trying to put across. So number 1, what do you want them to see when you're talking to them, when you're communicating with them? Number 2, what do you want them to know? Number 3, what do you want them to feel as you're communicating with them? And the last one is what you want them to do. That good communicators also lead from their strength, and you find your voice by leading from the area where you've developed the most. And that's really important. So I think a number of them also shared that. Patrick Lencioni also shared about doing your best in your area of strength. Where you are not strong, you can try your best, but then there is interdependency. You can where you fall short, other people can also help you, or other people can be there to help lift you up. So focusing on your strengths is the best way, more or less, to put your idea across or communicate with other people. And I really liked the 6 types of working geniuses that Patrick Lencioni shared. The first one, which was wonder, I think it's been shared already, so I'll just talk about what he shared when these geniuses are missing in a group or in a team at the workplace. So for wonder, if there's no wonder in the team, it means the team basically gets stuck in their ways. They get stuck where they are, and there's nobody thinking of how do we move forward, or how can we do this thing differently? How can we do this thing new? Wondrous start things. They start they start everything by asking why, how can we do this, or why is this that? We start the conversation and we get new things happening. And the second one, which is Invention. Now, without invention, creativity, and creativity, basically we may not know even how to get around certain tough issues. So it's important that we have a member of the team or some members of the team who are creative, who can help us get around the issue when they do happen. And also the third one was discernment. And without discernment, we miss things. It's possible to just go ahead with maybe our invention, or go ahead with certain things without looking back to see if they're actually valuable to the interest of the team. So it's really important to have discernment too. And the fourth one, which is galvanizing. Now, without somebody to galvanize, basically the team would have great ideas, but there's nobody to push or to get it done, to implement it. And with enablement, which was the fifth one, without enablement, anything rarely gets done because there's nobody to keep working on it, basically. And the last one, which is tenacity, he cracked a joke that a team without tenacity, well, it's not even known because they don't finish anything. So how do you know them? So I think it was really great, and he shared how for every team we have to identify, for every individual we have to identify the strengths in all these 6 areas where each individual is very good at, and also where each individual may not be so good at. I think you can draw a chart and then see collectively where the team is performing very well or where the team can perform very well, and also what the team is lacking. And with that knowledge, it's possible to create some balance in the team. So I also picked up from what Dr. Tim Elmore shared, generational diversity. Very often in the workplace, we complain about, or the various generations, I guess, complain about each other. And very recently, even I've heard a lot of conversation about the Gen Zs or the newbies in the workplace. I mean, there are all sorts of slangs that that go around, and he made a point that each generation is the way they are because of the paradigm or the environments that they grew up in, the environments that has influenced them. And each generation has something to offer. So instead of building bridges, let's focus on building, instead of building walls, let's focus on building bridges instead. And to be able to do some of that in the workplace, we have to look at, first of all, communicating the norms in the workplace so that there are no, everybody understands what is expected and what can't be done in the workplace. And also, there's this exercise that he proposed that we do. Ask me about my superpowers. I think it's really cool. Each generation in a group or in a meeting, we can sit down and talk about what each of us can do. And the team can look at how we can leverage on the superpowers of the various generations. And we can also launch reverse mentoring groups where an older generation and younger generation can be paired up. The older one is the mentor, the younger one is the mentee. The older one mentors the younger one, and then after that, puts the mentor hat down, puts up on the mentee cap, and allows himself to be mentored by the young one. And I thought that was really cool. And to conclude, I really enjoyed John Maxwell's conclusion about the potential question. I am asking myself now, how far can I go? He mentioned that the moment you remove the instead of asking, first of all, when will I get there? When will I get to my destination? When will I reach my goal? Ask, how far can I go? And when you remove that finish line, the possibilities are limitless. And
Good.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot to share, but
Yeah.
because
Thank you
of
so
time,
much.
well, I guess I'll wrap up here.
No, you'll come
And
back. Don't worry. If you have a
it was
few
really
more,
great being on this
otherwise,
program.
Justice.
I'm learning a lot, and I really appreciate this opportunity by CTL too. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakwe. Don't worry, you're going to come back and share the rest. We know you have a lot. We don't want Justice to feel that we have done injustice to him. So we are going to bring Justice on board. So that's from the architect's point of view. We are going to now bring the accountant to share with us what his learnings are in the next 10 minutes. So Justice, you are very welcome to the platform, and we are happy to take your learning in the next 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's an amazing experience from my second Live to Lead, and I must first express my profound gratitude to you for the opportunity you have given me to appear this evening to share my takeaways. And I also thank you for the role you are playing. I must acknowledge that you are a personal and a growth coach to me as a person, or a leadership coach and a mentor to me as a person. And since joining leadership platform in 2020, I must admit that I have been growing intentionally, and have been improving myself in many areas. And no wonder I joined the growth journey, and also last year Live to Lead, and this year because of the benefit of last year Live to Lead, I was able to share this with my my medical director, and he willingly and readily agreed to sponsor a team of 5 managers or leaders in the hospital. So I'm so grateful. I must appreciate him for what he has done, for giving us the opportunity to learn and to grow as leaders. And I hope that will impact the hospital and move it forward and do better in our service delivery. Most grateful. So coming to my takeaways. In fact, this year's Live to Lead has been explosive. That is my description of the experience I have had from this year's Live to Lead. Yeah. First of all, from the local experience, my profession is accounting, and accounting, like all other professions, thrives on integrity, transparency, and accountability, trustworthiness, honesty, dignity. All these words describe integrity, and the lessons I've learned mainly, I take away from Dr. Patrick Ewa in particular, is the ability to institutionalize integrity, and no matter the challenges they had with the accreditation, the determination to institutionalize integrity, to mainstream this into the organization, both for the faculty and for students, is amazing, and it's a lot of lessons we have to learn and replicate in our organizations. For instance, in my area, I am really considering how I can institutionalize this in my team of finance people in every area, so that we develop this honor code, so that we don't need to check attendance, check punctuality, check fraud or pilfering or whatever, so that we work and prevent all these incidents from happening, and we'll have a clean sheet and integrity will be so real and practical in our everyday life. That is what I've learned from my takeaway from Dr. Patrick Ewua, and also the panelists, Uncle Ebu White, and all the from the corporate level, from the theater, from at the national level, NCC, Madam Kathleen, and all the from the entrepreneurship perspective. Integrity cuts across, it permeates, it runs through everything we do in our everyday life, in the church, at home, and at workplaces. Integrity is all encompassing, and it is the key to success, is the key to productivity, is the key to efficiency. And I believe that mainstreaming integrity as a leader or as a follower is very key in whatever we do. So I will encourage that from this year's Live to Lead, we should all learn to deepen the culture of integrity in our activities, wherever we find ourselves. That is my takeaway from the breakout sessions. Then coming to the live session, starting from Dr. John Maxwell, which I believe my colleagues already shared so much about communication and potential. Those are the two areas that Dr. Maxwell spoke to us about. And I wouldn't like to really go back so much on that, but except to say that he made a statement that Warren Buffett said that in communication is so crucial to every, if you are going to succeed in your profession or career, it's not so much about competence, but it's about communication. And in every career, in every profession, you are ever competent, or no matter your level of competence, if you lack the quality, the value, the virtue of communication, you are not going to go far in your career. In other words, you are going to work with people. You are going to work with a lot of stakeholders. You are going to build a team. You need communication in your team. You need communication with your clientele. You need communication with your superiors or management. You need communication with all kinds of stakeholders that you deal with as a professional. So communication defines you as a professional. And if you're going to succeed, you need to take it seriously. In fact, I cannot wait for his book on communication. One of the things that I've learned from Group Journey is to become a reader, because every leader is a reader, and every leader is also a learner. You can only learn from reading. So I have resolved from Group Journey intentionally that I will read a chapter a day, and I will read a Maxwell book a month, and any other book, because whilst on the Group Journey we were taught to read other books, and since then I have become an avid and committed reader. So I cannot wait to have his book on communication. He has shared only 4 of the laws with us: the law of preparation, the law of connecting, and the law of what? Thermostat. And indeed, the laws, I'll just touch on the law of thermostat. And Maxwell stressed that when he started his writing career, he is directed to 5 main areas: communication, leadership, teaching, equip or empowerment, and then inspire for success. So he writes, mainly his writing focus on these main areas. So as a leader, you need to read your environment. You need to read your community and see what areas you can impact your community with in terms of communication. So that is my takeaway from the law of thermostat, and also under the broad topic of communication. And also potential. a need to maximize our potential through what? Mentorship, coaching, and training, leadership development, self-improvement, or self-empowerment. We need to what? Do everything possible. They say you have to give up to go up. There is something that is preventing you from what? Maximizing your potential. So you need to what? Maybe you like sleeping too much, or you need to you are lazy at reading. You need to give up all the things, the distractions that keep you from reading, so that you'll be able to read and you're able to develop your potential, and then you can go up. So the third area that I picked from the Maxwell's chart with Doris, also focusing on time management. And there, Maxwell again stressed that every leader that will succeed must also have a grip on how you manage or you allocate, how you spend your time. Particularly, Doris' focus or his career is mainly on why historian. Doris has history on all leaders. I understand he has a book of our 700 pages. I can't wait to look for that. I'll get that book, we'll read it and learn a lot from the woman, because most presidents of America succeeded because no matter how involved they are able to separate themselves, to reflect and get more refreshed ideas to be able to lead. My last take will be on the generations. We need to what? Bridge, relationship bridge, build relationship bridges rather than walls between the generations, so that the walls will disappear, and everybody from every generation will support and will become a team, and we can. For instance, I was having challenge in this connecting, and I just have to quickly call my nephew and my daughter, and they rallied around me. I belong to a different generation, and I'm trying to really fit like Mr. Maxwell. But quickly, once they came on Streamline, I'm able to share my takeaways. So that is the essence of what. That's the takeaway I picked from the generational teaching from.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you so much. A lot to chew. So those of you who are not at LIVE2LEAD, a few learnings from there. I'm seeing a few comments already. We're going to have just a short break, and then we're going to come back and bring them on stage and ask them a few questions. And then I'm seeing some comments. We'll share some of the comments, and then they will comment on the comments. All right. So thank you, everybody who is connected tonight. We wanted to share just a few of the learnings from last year's LIVE2LEAD. I noticed that a few of you joined a bit late, but you can catch up on those lessons. So you've seen a lot of great lessons which were shared from last year. And this year, the theme is leading for legacy. How do you lead to make a lasting impact? How do you make lasting contributions? So we have great speakers from John C. Maxwell, who is going to talk about Change Your World, Dr. Frimpong Boateng, who is going to talk about how to live a leadership of service and selflessness. We would have Ohinayere Gifty Auntie, who is also going to talk about her life as a journalist in the media and social advocacy for women and children and the deprived in society. How do you make an impact? There are so many ways you can make an impact. And these people are going to share with us. We're going to learn on how to make an impact in the business and financial world. And Justechi is going to share that with us. And so many other international speakers. Ryan is going to share about chasing failure. And when you are trying to build a lasting legacy, you're going to stumble here and there. How do you turn those failures into lasting legacies? We're going to learn also about that, and many other lessons that we're going to learn. So I just want to check if there are some of you who want to make some comments on what you've learned so far. All right, so I see Akasi can come from the UK. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I have Douglas Amwate, who is here also to join us. I have Doris Atta, who has joined us. Doris, thank you so much for joining. And William Darfur says, my very special thanks to Sarah, who really also walked me through the 6 geniuses and has sharpened my leadership skills to move from my comfort zone. Thank you, Sam and CTL Africa. I'm ready for Live to Lead. All right, so thank you. So I encourage you, there are 2 ways you can register for Live to. You can participate in this year's Live to Lead. We are trying to do this year's Live to Lead as a hybrid. So we're going to have the virtual session, which we've been doing for the last 3 years. Is going to be virtual on the leadership platform, where you have access to all the action, both locally and internationally, from the comfort of your home or your office or your mobile phone. You would have all the information. And you would also have the lessons for 5 days after the live event. In fact, as we speak, there are powerful lessons from previous Live to Lead and other John Maxwell and other speakers, which are already loaded on the leadership platform. So if you paid, registered today, and we gave you access, you will start learning. There are lessons that are bonus lessons that you have on the platform already that you could start enjoying. Now, so apart from the virtual one, this year we are doing an in-person, we call it the executive VVIP. So we have limited space for that. I see a lot of corporates trying to already register their people. So if you're interested, it's first come, first serve because of the space we have. We don't have a big space. So if you're interested to have the in-person experience where we are going to have the local speakers all together in one place, we're going to have the corporate executives also together in the same place, and then all the discussions are going to be around that table. It would still be being onto the virtual platform. So if you're on a virtual platform, you have it, but you're going to have an in-person interaction with the local speakers and with other executives who will be on the call. So don't miss out on that one. It will be in the EcoBank, luxurious EcoBank building auditorium, the new building auditorium. And we would, of course, it's from morning to evening. So we'll have we'll have brunch for you. We'll have coffee breaks and we have refreshment throughout the day. And you would also have additional benefits at the in-person. The in-person is 2,000 Ghana cedis for the in-person and the simulcast. And the virtual only on your platform, that one, people like Akwesi can come in UK can all join. That is 950 Ghana cedis. So for the corporates, please bring your teams. For individuals, just go on our website and the link is shared. Please go ahead and register. Now, if Richmond and Kofi are ready to share the video, we'll share it now and we will see. I'm not seeing any comments, but if you have any questions on Live to Lead or any of the lessons, today we just wanted to share this with you, so we would not go too far. But let's take if Richmond, are you ready to share the Live to Lead video with the team here?
Nobody ever thought their way to success. Nobody ever hoped their way to success. Nobody ever wrote goals on a planner to success. They acted. Action is what attracts. It's the action. It's the movement. Every person has a change the world speech inside of them. It's inside of you. Every one of you have a message. Every one of you have a dream. And my hope is that today you'll begin to express that dream better than you ever have, because people need to hear your story. People need to see your vision. And when you learn to communicate, you pass it on to others, and you help so many people make a difference in the world. So let your dream come out and learn how to communicate it with excellence. Thank you very much. My name is John. I'm your friend. Thank you.
All right, let me bring Sarah in just in case she has a few words. And by the way, you can view panel on board, and we're going to you can view the rest of the discussion with Rabna, with Justice, and with Lakwe on our YouTube channel. If you go to the October 2022 LIVE2LEAD CTL Africa YouTube channel, you would find the rest of the discussion in terms of how they are applying the lessons in their lives. Very beautiful lessons. So, Sarah, anything you want to say so that we can close the session today for our honorable participants who join us? I don't see any comments or questions from them on Live2Lead so far.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. I mean, the lessons and everything is on the website. And Sam, myself, and the CTL team, and our new partners who are joining us to run the program this year are all standing by to really give you a great Live2Lead session this year. We're going to have it in person, like Sam has said, and you can really network. So please get your tickets quickly, because if not, it's going to be sold out. And make sure you come with your team. So looking forward to meeting all of you on the 6th of October. Don't waste time, because tickets are limited. Okay, the seats are limited. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Sarah. And thank you, Richmond, and the team for supporting. We want to thank those of you who joined: William Dafoe, Dennis Ahe, Akwesi Kankam, and let me see, Gifty Atta, and Albert Donko. Reverse mentorship is very great, and attitude. All right, let's see. All right, so we have all the links for you to register shared on the platform. So go ahead and register for Live2Lead. And on that note, I want to thank all of you for joining the leadership platform this evening. Take care of yourself. God bless you. See you at Live to Lead. We have only 4 weeks from now, actually less than 4 weeks, so 27 days. So get your ticket before, especially the in-person session closes, and we don't want anybody crying at the door because the room will be closed. Thank you very much. Have a good night. God bless you. Let's go to church tomorrow and thank God for giving us life and giving us energy so that we can serve him. Good night. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Richmond Kofi. Good night.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Nobody ever thought their way to success. Nobody ever hoped their way to success. Nobody ever wrote goals on a planner to success. They acted. Action is what attracts. It's the action. It's the movement. Every person has a change the world speech inside of them. It's inside of you. Every one of you have a message. Every one of you have a dream. And my hope is that today you'll begin to express that dream better than you ever have, because people need to hear your story. People need to see your vision. And when you learn to communicate, you pass it on to others, and you help so many people make a difference in the world. So let your dream come out and learn how to communicate it with excellence. Thank you very much. My name is John. I'm your friend. Thank you.